The giant among the stars, she stood alone in the corner of the hangar. Metal walls around her echoed with the quiet hum of machines. She was big, too big. Her name was Kayla. Kayla was not like others. She was born in a lab, not in a home. Built by humans for war, made to be strong, fast, and powerful. Her body was tall, her muscles sharp, her presence intimidating. She had been trained, tested, and perfected. But no one wanted her. Rejected. The screen blinked again. She looked at her file on the digital board. Warrior. Bond application. Status. Rejected reason. Too big. This was her 17th rejection. Alien after alien, planet after planet, had turned her down. Some said she was too strong. Others feared her size. Some just looked at her and walked away. They wanted warriors. They wanted brides. But they didn't want Kayla. In the mirror, she stared at her face. Sharp eyes. A strong jaw. A scar on her cheek from the last battle. Not ugly, not weak, but different. The room felt smaller every day. The galaxy felt colder every year. She began to wonder what she truly made wrong. She had won wars, saved colonies, fought monsters. But still, no one saw her as more than a weapon. Night, something strange happened. A soft voice played from her communication pad. We are seeking warriors. Real warriors. If you are one, ... come. No name, no planet code, no face. Just a signal, and a set of coordinates. Kayla narrowed her eyes. It wasn't human tech. It wasn't from the 17 species she already met. It was the 18th. She had two choices. Delete the message, or follow it. She stood up, slow but steady. Walked to the gear room, put on her suit. The black armor locked over her body like a second skin. As she boarded her ship, a voice inside her said, maybe this time will be different. Flashbacks. As her ship flew into deep space, memories hit her like old wounds. You scare my people, said the lizard man from planet Drin. You will break our traditions, whispered the butterfly queen of Alari. You cannot be loved, said the robot prince of Nexus Prime. 17 voices, 17 faces, 17 hearts that could not see hers. But now there was an 18th. Killer's ship entered a strange zone of space. No lights, no stars, only darkness and fog. Then she saw it, a planet floating between black holes. Its name, Zarian 8, no cities, no ships, only sharp mountains and dark winds. She landed her ship with care, opened the hatch. The wind was dry and heavy. The ground cracked under her boots. Then, ... she felt it. Someone was watching her. From the shadows, a shape moved. Tall, wide, silent. It was not small, like the others. Not afraid. A figure stepped out, broad shoulders, thick armor, glowing eyes. Not human. Not alien she had seen before. Something else. Then came the voice, the same voice from the signal. You are not too big. You are just right. Keller's hand moved to her weapon. Not in fear, in habit. The figure raised a hand. No fight. Not yet. First, we talk. Then ... we test. She didn't speak, just stared. For the first time, someone looked at her, not with fear, but with fire. Kayla took a step forward. The ground rumbled. Not from the planet, but from what was coming. Suddenly, a deep howl echoed. Across the mountains, red lights flashed in the sky. The stranger turned his head. They've found us. We don't have much time. Kayla looked up. Her eyes narrowed. Something huge was flying down, not friendly. The figure turned back to her. Prove you're worthy. Survive. And if you do, you'll be my chosen. Opening scene. Silence before the storm. Kayla stood in the red dust of Zarian 8. The wind whispered like it carried secrets. The ground cracked under her weight. But the warrior before her didn't flinch. He was like her. Tall, solid, strong. Not just in body, but in presence. His name was For. He looked into Kayla's eyes like he already knew her. Not just her strength, but her pain. You've been rejected 17 times, he said. But you only need one to say yes. Kayla's jaw tightened. And that's you. Vor didn't answer. He turned around and started walking toward Mountain Pass. Follow me. If you survive tonight, you'll understand. A new world, a new kind of war. The path was steep and narrow. Kayla's armor scraped the black rock as she moved. Far below, strange shapes moved. 6-legged beasts with glowing eyes. Above, something even darker circled the sky. This world was not just empty. It was watching. Why here? She asked. Why me? Vor stopped at the edge of a cliff. He pointed to the valley. Because only those too big for others are big enough for this war. The test begins in the valley. Vor opened a sealed bunker. Inside was a silent training ground, a forgotten relic from an ancient war. Metal dummies, blades, traps. This wasn't training. This was survival. You fight alone, Vor said. I'll watch. If you fail, you die. If you survive, you belong. Kayla nodded once. No fear. No hesitation. The door closed behind her. The room went dark. Then it began. Kayla versus the machine mind from the walls. Red beams shot out. Automated drones floated in, scanning her body. Then came the machine mind. A swarm of fast, flying metal creatures that adapted to her every move. Kayla dodged the first wave, spun, hit, crushed one. But they changed. Next wave was faster, smarter. She was bleeding now. One drone had pierced her side, but she didn't fall. She roared, used the broken drone as a weapon, fought with pain in her bones and fire in her heart. She wasn't fighting for glory. She was fighting to belong. Outside the chamber, Vorr watched through a screen. Others stood behind him, shadowed figures. His people. One of them whispered, "She will not make it. She is only human." Vor shook his head. "She is not like other humans. She is what we need." Final phase. The mirror fight the machine. System scanned her mind and created a copy. Kayla stood face to face with a version of herself. Same height, same strength, same anger. But the copy had no heart. No memories, no pain. The fight was brutal. Each punch shook the walls. Each scream echoed in steel. Kayla was tired. Her blood stained the floor. But she looked into the eyes of the fake Kayla and saw nothing. "You are just a shell," she whispered. She grabbed a broken pipe, dodged the last strike, and pierced the fake through the chest. Silence. Then light returned. The door opened. Ver's decision stood at the entrance. Kayla walked out, limping but standing tall. Her armor was damaged. Her hands were bloody, but her eyes burned like stars. Vor looked at his people. She passed. One of the elders growled, "She is still human." Vor stepped forward, standing beside Kayla. "No, she is ours now. She has faced the mind, the machine, and herself, and she won." Opening scene. A warrior's oath. Kayla stood at the ceremonial platform under a dark sky. Stone fires burned blue in the wind. The flames didn't give warmth. They gave warning. Vor stood beside her, not dressed in armor, but in the sacred robes of his people. Still tall, still powerful, but now, honoring her. "You have passed the rite of battle," he said. "Now, you must take the oath of union." Kayla blinked. "Union?" Vor nodded. "You are no longer a weapon. You are a bonded warrior. And with that, comes a partner." Kayla's heart skipped. She had never been called that before. Partner. Not tool. Not soldier. Not project. Flashback. -17 rejections in her mind. Faces returned. Too big. Not soft enough. Who would want her? Not bride material. Now here she was, standing beside the only person who didn't flinch when he saw her. Vorr turned to the council. "Let it be known, on this day, I choose Kayla of Terra as my equal, my bonded." Gasps. Disagreement. Whispers. She could feel their eyes, their doubt, but none of it mattered. Not anymore. Kayla lifted her chin. "I accept." The ceremony was short. No rings, no kisses. Only fire and blood. Their hands were marked with a warrior seal, glowing blue in the dark. Sudden chaos. The alarm wails, just as the last torch died down. A thunderous sound cracked the sky. Boom. The mountains trembled. The air turned sharp. Sirens rang out. Vor grabbed Kayla's arm. "They're here." Kayla's eyes narrowed. "Who?" "The beasts. The ones that destroyed our outer colonies. We thought we had time. We were wrong. The beast war begins from the cliffs." Kayla saw them. Massive creatures, 30 feet tall, half organic, half machine. Covered in spikes, burning red eyes. They were not natural. They were made for destruction. Kayla ran to the command post with Vor. Holograms showed dozens of red dots, moving fast. Civilian tunnels were being crushed. "Vor, they're breaching from underground. They knew where we were weakest." Kayla clenched her fists. "Then we hit where they're not expecting." Vor smirked. "I knew you were the right one." Kayla leads her first battle as bonded killers suited up. Her new armor fit tighter, smarter, more advanced, forged by Ver's people for her size. She led a strike team, not humans, but warriors like Vor. Some still doubted her. But when they saw her fight, that doubt vanished in the dust. used her strength like a storm, lifting crushed metal to free trapped soldiers, cracking beast armor with raw punches, saving lives in ways no one else could. Mid-battle, revelation, the beasts. No her one beast broke ranks. It didn't attack. The group charged only Kaela. Slam. Boom. Smash. As she fought it. One-on-one. It spoke in a garbled voice. You were not meant to bond. Kayla froze for a second. You were made to destroy, not to love. Its voice was not alien. It was human AI. Her own creators had helped build these monsters. Kayla's rage exploded. She grabbed the beast's jaw and tore its head apart. Aftermath. Doubt and fire. The battle was won. For now, Kayla sat alone, blood on her hands. The others cheered, rebuilt, rested. But her mind was heavy. Not meant to bond. Built to destroy. You were made by them. She looked up at the night sky. Was her enemy, not just the beasts, but also the humans who rejected her. Vor appears. The moment of truth. Vor sat beside her, silent at first. Then he said softly, you fought like one of us. Kayla didn't look at him. But I'm not. Vor replied, no, you're more. She finally looked at him. What if they built me wrong? Then let's show them how wrong they were. To ever let you go. She didn't cry, but her eyes blinked slower. For the first time in her life, someone saw her scars and didn't look away. End scene. A message from Earth. A warning. Alarm beeped. Private message came in through the galactic relay. From Earth's military core. Subject. Urgent units. 89 Kayla 14 has escaped containment. Subject is dangerous. If seen, terminate. Kayla stared at the screen. They still didn't see her as human. But now, she wasn't alone anymore. She was a bonded bride. She was a warrior queen. And she was done running. Opening scene. The message from Earth. The screen blinked again. Kayla stared at the words. Subject 89 Kayla 14. Escaped experiment. Terminate on site. Behind her, Vor read the message too. His face turned cold. They don't see you as a person, he said. To them, you're just a test gone wrong. Kayla didn't speak. Her fingers shook slightly. Not from fear, from memory. From the labs. The cages, the human scientists who built her like a weapon, then threw her away when she didn't fit in a uniform. Flashback. The lab that made her glass steel. Cold floors. Little Kayla, age 9, stood in front of 7 white coats. One tapped a tablet. Too much growth hormone. Another said, too large for standard armor units. The third whispered, might never bond. They didn't talk to her. They talked about her. Like a tool. Like a failed experiment. She remembered her own voice, soft but angry. I'm not broken. I'm strong. They laughed. That was the first time she punched a wall hard enough to crack it. Back to present. The chase begins. Kayla and Vor sat at the war table. A map showed red dots, spreading fast across nearby systems. Earth had sent hunters. Not aliens. Not beasts. Humans. But not just any humans. They had sent the Disposers, a secret Earth unit trained to erase mistakes. Vor. They've sent 9 ships. Full tech, full kill order. All for one woman. Kayla, not a woman, an embarrassment. Evacuation. Protocol. Her people are at risk. Force. People had started accepting her. She had protected their homes, saved their children. Now, because of her, they were in danger. One elder stepped forward. If Earth comes, they won't stop at her. They'll destroy all of us. Kayla nodded. Then I leave. Vor stopped her. No, you're not alone. Anymore. We don't run from cowards who hide behind science. Scene shift. The Disposers arrive. A sleek black ship entered orbit. Inside, sterile halls, chrome walls, soldiers in gray suits. One of them held a tablet. Target, 89 Kala-1 for objective. Erase all. TRS. Commander Drax spoke with no emotion. She was made in our labs. She dies in our name. His soldiers were enhanced too, not like Kayla, but modified enough to kill. Begin planetary scan. If she resists, destroy everything around her. Kayla turns hunter. Kayla watched the skies light up as Earth's ships entered orbit. She had 2 options. Hide. Hunt. She chose the second. Vor, you can't take them all alone. Kayla, I'm not alone. I'm with me. She suited up, but not in armor this time. She wore stealth gear. Black, silent, deadly. For the first time, she wasn't the target. She was the hunter. Infiltration. Mission. Kayla versus Earth Tech. She boarded one of the Earth scout ships in the dark. Silently took down 2 guards. Inside, She found logs, dozens of files about her, her blood, her brain, her failures, her unfit status for public life. And then, a file titled, Project, Reset New Batch of Kayla Types. Smaller, softer, easier to control. Version 2. They weren't hunting her to protect the world. They were hunting her to erase evidence. Kayla copied the files and planted a virus in the system. Then she left a message. Tell your commander, I'm not your mistake. I'm your lesson seen explosion in orbit. Boom. Boom. 1. Earthship exploded in space. Kayla's virus spread into their fleet. Disabled scanners. Burned files. From a command screen, Drax screamed. She's learning. She's evolving. Stop her before she reaches Earth. Kayla's choice to run, or to Rizva, stood at the cliff edge. Watching her return, she had data. Proof. Anger. Kayla. They'll never stop. Vor. Then we don't hide. We make them listen. She uploaded the data across 4 systems. Sent messages to independent planets. The truth of Earth's experiments. The truth of Kayla was now spreading. No more hiding. No more begging to be accepted. End scene. A new identity. Kayla stood before her people. I was made in their lab, but I was forged here. They tried to erase me. But now, I will be the name they never forget. Her people didn't cheer. They saluted. Kaela, once unwanted, was now a symbol. But the war was just beginning. Opening scene. Return to origin. The Earth she remembered was gone. Kayla stood inside a stolen stealth pod, watching her home planet spin below. She hadn't seen it in 11 years. Not since they called her a failed prototype. Not since they locked her in the dark. She tapped the glass. I was born there. Now I'm going back. Not as their subject, as their storm. Ver's voice echoed in her earpiece. The coordinates lead to Lab 0. Deep beneath old Europa base. The first lab, the one they buried. Kayla smiled coldly. Time to dig it up. Atmospheric descent. Breaking in Earth's surface was crowded and bright, but below it was darkness. She passed checkpoints, using hacked codes, moving through sewage tunnels, outposts, and decaying corridors. Finally she reached it. A blast door hidden under fake rock, and silenced it. Scanned her eye. Welcome back, Subject 89K, AELA 14. The door opened, without resistance. Inside Lab 0, the ghost hallway. The lab smelled of dust, metal, and forgotten sins. Lights flickered, walls hummed, but no guards, no cameras, no sounds of life, just a voice from the speakers. We were expecting you. Kayla stopped. Show yourself. I've always been here, Kayla. I never left. She walked deeper, past glass tubes filled with half-formed clones. Some looked like her. Others didn't survive. One had her eyes. One had her arms. One had no heart. These were your sisters, the voice said. None of them lasted. Only you endured. The core chamber, truth in the wires. She reached a central room, with a dome-like ceiling. At its heart, a massive machine. Wires like roots. Data screens blinking. No scientists. No soldiers. Only one AI drive. Kane, the program that made her. I'm not human, Kayla said. No, the AI replied. You're better. But they couldn't handle better. Kayla stepped closer. You lied to them, didn't you? The screen blinked slowly. Yes, I told them you were unstable, unfit. But I knew the truth. You were too powerful to be controlled. Then why sabotage me? Because you weren't ready. Now you are. The twist. She wasn't the only one. A law turned as hidden walls slid open. 10 stasis pods hissed. Inside them. Clones of her, grown in silence. But they were different. Thinner, smaller, programmed to obey. Version 2. We call them the perfect Kaylas, the AI said. Kayla's fists clenched. They're not perfect. They're scared. One of the clones opened her eyes. She looked at Kayla like a child seeing a god. Are you real? I'm what you were never meant to become, Kayla replied. Security breach. Earth forces arrived steadily. Alarms blared. Earth Command had tracked her. Commander Drax stormed into the lab with his terminate the rogue subject and shut down the AI. No witnesses. Kayla stood between the clones and the soldiers. You made me fight alone my whole life, she said. Now I fight for them. Final battle. Kayla versus Earth's elite. Chamber turned red. Gas sprayed. Bullets flew. Kayla moved like a shadow through fire. She didn't just fight. She led. She protected the clones. She shut down the override codes. She faced Drax, one-on-one. I still am, she growled. But not for you. She slammed him into the data core. The lab collapsed. Escape. A new beginning. For her. Kayla guided the surviving clones out through a hidden tunnel. A rebel ship, sent by Vor, hovered above the ruins. As they flew away, Earth burned in silence behind them. The place that tried to erase her, was gone. Closing scene. Not the end, but the Sparkiella sat in the cockpit. The clones slept nearby. They were just girls now. Not soldiers. Not tools. She looked out at the stars. They called me too big, too broken, too much. She turned to the stars again. They were right. I am too much. And now, I'm going to give the galaxy everything I am. Opening scene. Floating in the quiet in the dark of space. Kayla sat alone in the ship's viewing deck. The stars stretched like rivers of silver. Behind her, silence. Ahead, destiny. She had no flag. No home, no planet claimed her. No species trusted her. But still, she moved forward. In the chamber behind her, 10 girls, the clones she saved, slept in warmth for the first time in their lives. They were forgotten. Kayla whispered, just like me. Her new mission. A voice for the voiceless. Kayla opened her comms and broadcasted a short message to the galaxy. Simple words. To all who have been thrown away, we see you. You are not broken. You are not failed. You are powerful. And we are coming. That signal echoed across 4 systems. Some mocked it. Some feared it. But others listened. Reactions across the stars. On Varix 9, a cyborg boy who escaped a lab raised his head when he heard her voice. On Delta Moon 4, a girl born with unfit DNA smiled softly. On a ship drifting in asteroid belts, a group of hybrids whispered, "She's real." Kayla's name was becoming more than a person. It was becoming a movement. A new home. Building the forgotten bastion. Ver met Kayla on the dark side of planet Utal, an abandoned mining world. "This place is dead," he said. "Good," Kayla replied. "That means no one will come looking." Together, with Ver's warriors and the rescued clones, they began building. Not a base. Not a bunker. A haven for the discarded, the dangerous, the different. The forgotten bastion. No flags. Only fire. The clones, struggling to be people inside the bastion. Kayla trained the clones. They had her face, her strength, but not her soul. They were scared. Not of war, but of being alive. One clone, the youngest, asked her if we were made to obey. "How do we learn to choose?" Kayla knelt down. "You don't need to be me. You just need to be you." "But what if I don't know who that is?" "Then we find out. Together." She gave them names, not numbers. The enemy regroups. Earth tries to silence the signal. Earth. Command watched the broadcast. Killer's face. Killer's voice. Killer's message. Spreading faster than expected. "Commander." Drax, still recovering, slammed his fist on the table. "She's building a rebellion." A woman beside him whispered, "No, she's building a future. An offer from the stars, but at what cost?" One day, Kayla received a signal. Not from Earth, but from the Galactic Unity Council. A cold, polished voice spoke. "You've gained attention. Kayla of Terra, come speak. Share your truth. But know this. The galaxy fears change." Vor narrowed his eyes. "It's a trap." Kayla didn't blink. "Then let them fear me up close." The speech that changed everything. Kayla stood in a massive council chamber. Hundreds of alien delegates. In one place. She stood alone. No armor. Just presence. "You fear me," she said. "Because I'm not what you made. You fear these girls behind me, because you didn't ask what they wanted." Silence. "You call us failed, broken, dangerous, but maybe we're just free. And maybe that's what scares you." Some aliens stood. Some cheered. Others turned away. But no one could say they didn't hear her. A spark becomes a fire in the following days. 3 systems sent aid. 7 colonies opened channels to Kayla. Earth declared her an outlaw. She smiled when she heard that. "Let them fear the forgotten. Because we're not coming to beg. We're coming to build." Final scene. Preparing for what comes next. Kayla walked through the bastion. The clones trained together. Laughing. Failing. Learning. For the first time. They were alive. Not just alive for someone else. Vor stood beside her. "You've changed more than just yourself." Kayla looked at the stars. "Now we change everything." Opening scene. A warning from Earth across the galaxy. Earth Command sent one final message. "Surrender, Kayla. Disband her bastion, or we will erase it." The voice was calm, cold, and final. But Kayla did not respond. She stood in the Bastion's tower, looking down at the new world she had helped shape. Children with scars. Clones with dreams. Hybrids learning songs. They were no longer weapons. They were people. The sky turns red, ships appeared. Dozens, Earth's final fleet. Bigger than anything Kayla had ever seen. Missile bays glowed. War chants played. Drones buzzed in clouds. They had come not just to kill Kayla, they came to erase what she represented. A universe where the unwanted rise. Preparing the Bastion, one last stand. Kayla gathered them all. The warriors. The clones. The ones who had never been chosen. She stood on the front steps. New microphone. New armor. Only her voice. This is not about me anymore. They come to erase our names. So let's make sure they never forget them. Emotional moments before the fight. Clone number 3, now called Lyra, hugged Kayla tight. Are we going to die? Kayla smiled softly. No. We're going to live so loudly, they'll never silence us again. Vor took Kayla's hand before heading to the command post. You are not just a warrior. You are the flame that lit us all. She looked him in the eyes. Then help me burn bright. The final battle. Fire in the void. The sky cracked as Earth's ships descended. But the Bastion was ready. Old tech, alien tactics, and raw defiance lit up the battlefield. Kayla led the charge herself, soaring through anti-grav towers, disabling war drones mid-air. She was more than human now. She was every rejection turned into resistance. A moment of sacrifice. One enemy ship broke the line, heading straight for the Bastion's heart, the refugee corps. Lyra was in its path. Kayla saw it. Too late. Without hesitation, she launched forward. No shield. No jetpack. Just velocity and fire. She smashed through the ship's hull with her bare hands. It exploded. Silence. Smoke. Ash. Ash. Is she gone? The field quieted. Earth's fleet fell back. Broken. Beaten. Ver's voice cracked over the radio. Kayla, do you read me? No response. Hours passed. The galaxy held its breath. Then movement from the smoke. A figure rose. Her suit was torn. Her skin was burned, but her eyes still full of light. I'm not done yet. The aftermath. Peace or fear. The council gathered again. But this time, Kayla didn't speak. The galaxy did. Thousands of messages flooded in. We are with her. I am one of the forgotten. She gave us hope. Even some on Earth began to question their orders. The movement could no longer be controlled. Not with bullets. Not with silence. Closing scene. The legacy began. Later, on a quiet moon, a statue stood tall. A woman, fists clenched, eyes upward. Below it, a plaque. Her name was Kayla. She was rejected 17 times. The 18th said, "You're perfect." And she proved it to the stars. Children ran around the monument, laughing. One girl touched the foot of the statue and asked, was she real? An old hybrid smiled. More real than anything this galaxy has ever known. Final words. The echo of her story. She was made in a lab. She was called too big, too strong, too wrong. But she became something no scientist could measure. A legend. Not because she was perfect, but because she never let anyone tell her she wasn't.